Welcome to this week's video. I want to talk this week about how to move from doing your side hustle to becoming a full-time artist or creator in your creative career, creative entrepreneur. And I have done this many times in my life, and this is what I love. I think it's one of my specialties that I love working with my clients on. How to get from point A, where you have a kind of a creative hobby, or maybe you're selling your work, you're beginning to sell your work, to creating a plan, moving into creating income streams, and then eventually becoming a full-time artist. Why I wanted to create this video is because what I see is a lot of creatives wanting to kind of jump off the cliff and start their entrepreneurship journey, but they don't know how, or they do it and they don't have the confidence or the skills, or they haven't built up the revenue streams, the support, that confidence to be able to have a sort of step-by-step plan in place in order to support them. And so a lot of times people will fail as a creative entrepreneur, and then, they get into shame because they feel like, why couldn't I make this work, right? But what I love doing with clients is helping them to really feel supported, really create a beautiful plan step by step along the way. And so that's what I want to share with you in this video, is how to create that plan for yourself. One thing that I want to point out is, in this culture that we're living in, everybody wants a sort of quick fix. You want like a formula for me to give you a formula. And this is kind of a framework, right, that I give my clients. I actually have like a intuitive business plan that we create for them, and it's really cool. And we go through all these processes. But I want to say, like, this is a process, and it takes time. It can take anywhere from, 6 months to years, 10 years to move through this process. It all depends on, how fast you are willing to go, what your priorities are, it depends on a lot of things. I've been helping artists do this for 14 years, and it's one of my favorite things. So let's get into it. And be sure to stay tuned to the end, because I'm going to share with you my favorite tool. It's kind of like my signature tool that I help my clients use to get to their next job. So what we call like a bridge job, the next job that's going to help them to move into the next phase in their creative career, or bring in their next income stream. Or you can actually use this tool to manifest anything in your life, whether it's like a house or a partner or a couch. This is like 4 steps to really bringing the next thing in your life that you want to move you into your dream, right? So let's get started. The first step that I really work with my clients on in moving from their side hustle or kind of hobby into creating a full-time career is envisioning your dream. What is your vision for your life? Maybe 5, 10, 20 years down the road. Think of the most crazy, the most amazing, fantastic dream of what you want your life to look like. Now, I know this can be really hard. This is like one of the hardest things for a lot of people to actually do, is to dream about what's possible. But it's so important, because you want to be able to think big so that you can know what to aim for. And if you're having trouble with this, one thing that I suggest is to look for role models, or what Lacy Phillips calls expanders. So people who maybe you feel like a little jealous of them, like you look at their life and you see them doing, maybe they have like a studio, a full-time career, something that you in your heart is like, oh my gosh, I want that, you know, and you might feel a little bit jealous. So that kind of clues you into what are my big dreams? So if we don't have these big dreams, we can't ever, you know, we can't ever bring them to fruition. So you might want to go check out my video about how I manifested my studio. This will give you an idea of like maybe how to move forward in this, but dream big. So think about what you want or envision, how you want to feel. How do you want to feel in your dream life? What do you want your life to look like every day? Like, what are you doing every day? Who are you interacting with? One of the first things that I like to work with my clients on is creating a community. So when you are passionate about something, when you really get into what you're passionate about and who you are, I work with my clients on connecting to who they really are and what they're passionate about first. But when you establish that, then you begin to find your community. And what this community does, it creates a sort of base for you in your future. All of the connections that I've made that have given me opportunities that have come about have come through one-on-one connections that I've made with people. So these are genuine connections, right? So much of the time, we think about our business, creating business, and the way that our culture, our consumer culture talks about is transactional. Like, I'm going to market myself, and so you're going to give me blah, blah, blah. But establishing real connection, finding these people who you connect with on a genuine basis on the things that you're passionate about are going to springboard you into getting you from where you are to where you want to be. So I just want to put that into the mix of begin now when you're in your side hustle to create these connections, like a real genuine connections and community, whether it be on social media, in person, and just be open. Just be open to genuine connections, not what can these people do for me, but how can I connect with people and get excited about what they're doing and share with them, connect with them. So that would be my first step. Number 2, create boundaries around your work. So make sure that you're having studio time, you're creating time, you're prioritizing you, and you're making time to create work. So this is really important. Once you begin to do this, you're kind of telling life that this is what you prioritize. I'm prioritizing myself. And you can watch my video about how to find more time and more energy. I'll put a link to that above here. And so go ahead and make those boundaries, set your value, and just, it's like you're telling the universe, this is what I'm valuing. And it's like you're taking a little step in the direction of what you want and asking for more of that. So write it on your calendar. I'm doing an hour a day, 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, or, you know, twice a week, whatever it is, make that a priority. If you are really serious about moving your business forward, it's super important that you prioritize this and expand that as the years go by, or the weeks or the months. Begin to start a savings account. So whatever job you're in right now, can you begin to start a savings account where eventually you're going to want to go from, if you're in a 9-to-5, you're going to want to either taper that off or leave completely, and you're going to want to have a buffer. So begin to deposit however much you can so that you have like at least a few months buffer where you and I'm going to talk about this in a little bit, where you're not putting so much pressure on your creativity that you kind of give in to the pressure. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that, but you want to create a savings account so that you can take a jump when your intuition tells you that it's time. You could take a jump into doing what is necessary for your next step into becoming the creative entrepreneur that you want to. So build up that savings account little by little. Next, let's talk about revenue streams. So when we're talking about becoming a creative entrepreneur or an artist, I love the idea of just, being an artist, a full-time artist, selling your artwork or your creations, whatever you're doing creatively. But a lot of creatives have to have multiple income streams. So if you're in a side hustle right now, you probably already have income streams that are coming in. So which ones of those are working for you? We want to really look at that. If something's working and you feel really good about it, keep doing that. Maybe increase your prices, right? So we want to do this one at a time, right? So you want to slowly build up an income stream and get it going so that it's it's profitable, and then you can add another one if it feels good. So if you haven't started selling your work, we want to look at income streams. So this income streams is where a lot of creative entrepreneurs or artists get stuck. They get stuck in their mind. And I see this all the time on chats or when people come to me, they're in this mind loop of, oh my gosh, which income stream should I do? Should I do trying to do all the income streams or whatever is new, trying to do Etsy and their own web shop and Society6 or prints or whatever, all the things, right? And that can lead you down into being really burnt out and getting too distracted. So what I like to tell people is to make a list of all of the things that you could do, everything that comes to your mind. And this is where we really get into listening to ourselves. And this is what I work with my clients on a lot, is listening to our intuition. We all know that everybody and their grandma is always telling us as artists, oh, you should do this, you should do that, you should do this with your art, So make that list, and then here is where you connect with yourself. There's a couple different ways that I found recently that have been really interesting. Martha Beck talks about, listening. So we want to listen, kind of get quiet and listen to our bodies. And she talks about listening for or feeling into what's warm, what feels warm in your body. So look at your list, all the income streams. When you look at one of them, is there one that feels warm, that you can sense, that feels better than another one? Or maybe you're just more excited about it. And another person, Kyle Cease, says, like on a scale of 1 to 10. So 1 being your least excited or it feels the least good to you, to 10 being this feels like a total yes, right? So on a scale of 1 to 10, which one feels like a 10? Which one feels like a 10, right? So this can really help you to connect to what aligns with me, what is feeling really aligned right now for income streams. And again, income streams are trial and error, right? It's a lot of, when you're starting your business, there's so much trial and error. Just a reminder that you want to be trying different things and seeing what works and pivoting. Pivoting is getting feedback and moving strategically in a direction based on what's working or not working. That feedback can be internal, based on this doesn't seem like it's really flowing with me, and it can also be external. What's not working? What am I getting feedback from people on, right? So we can pivot based on that. So let's talk about if you should leave your job or not, or when to actually leave your job. Remember to stay tuned to the end of this video, because I'm gonna give you my super secret way to get to your next income stream or your next job, or bring in your next manifestation to get you to the next step of your journey. If you're in a job that is pretty stable, you feel pretty good about it, it's bringing you income, there might not be a lot of reason to leave just yet. Is there anything in that job that can give you support in this path? So we were focusing on the end goal, that dream, or the next step in getting there, okay? So what we don't wanna do is we don't wanna just suffer through and then, wait until we're in retirement, right? We don't wanna suffer through life and wait until we're in retirement so that we can finally do what we wanna do. No, we want to strategically be moving in this plan, right? So is your job now giving you financial support, skills that you're learning? Could be marketing skills. It could be whatever the skills are that might be needed in your business. Is it giving you time and energy to put into your art business? So think about what could your business be, what could your job now be giving you to support your plan? If it's not giving you any of those and it's really draining you, or you need to find a new job, you need to find a job, let's talk about that. So I just want to say first, it's really important to have stability financially and emotionally when you are trying to set up your business, because we don't want to put a lot of pressure on our creativity to support us. Elizabeth Gilbert talks about this in Big Magic. Our creativity is best when it is free-flowing, when it has freedom to explore, to create from a place of freedom, from our true essence. Meaning, I'm not trying to put myself in a box or market myself, trying to fit myself into a particular way to sell to people. I want to be able to create from a place of freedom, from my whole self. And that is what's going to sell my artwork. When we have financial constraint, it compresses that freedom. And so if you talk to people who are really financially constrained, there's a lot of stress. We get into this fight or flight. And so if you think about the second chakra, or the first and second chakra, I should say. First chakra is all about safety, right? Safety, having our needs met. And then the second chakra is all about creativity. They work together to be able to, when we have that safety and freedom, we're able to create, right? And so we want to feel safe and secure. That's why if you can keep your job, keep it. If you can, find another job that's going to give you what you need in order to create and move along that timeline. Let's do that. So let's talk about that. And this is where I'm going to give you my super secret, juicy little tool for finding your next job or income stream or clients that are going to help you along your path to your creative entrepreneurship. Okay, so let's talk about this process. You want to get from point A, which is where you are now, to point B, which is your ultimate dream. There's a lot of steps in the way, right? So in our mind, a lot of times we think, oh, well, in a year, I should be going from point A to completely selling my work. And maybe you will be, you know, financially free, whatever. But a lot of times, like in my case, it took longer than that, you know, based on a lot of things, right? And those could be emotional setbacks, could be financial, could be whatever it is for you. But we want to keep moving forward. So one of the things is what Lacy Phillips calls a bridge job. So a job that's going to be the next step along that journey. The problem is that most people, when they think of finding the next job, and it doesn't even have to be a job, it can be a partner, a house, you know, anything that you're looking to sort of manifest in your life, our brain can only see what it's been shown before, right? So it can't actually see all the possibilities that are available to you. It can only see what it's been shown before. So for instance, like when I'm talking to my students who are graduating, they're like, I really want this kind of a job, but I can only get this kind of a job because of my qualifications. But that's not necessarily true. So for example, I quit my job, my full-time corporate job, and I was freelancing, and then the recession hit. And so I lost a bunch of my freelance clients, and I was sitting around a lot and just thinking about, like, I need another job to kind of fill in the gaps of my income. And so I asked myself, like, what do I want deeply? And all that I could kind of sense was that I want to help people. And that's all I could kind of sense within me. And I didn't know what that meant. I just that's what I felt. And all of a sudden, I got this email from like a person that knew a person that I worked with, and they asked me if I wanted to be in teaching illustration. And this is like, I had never thought of myself being able to teach. Actually, I thought I would never ever want to teach. And I was not even 2 years out of college. I didn't have a master's or anything like that. And so I said yes. And when I started teaching, I've never had this feeling before, but I felt like I am so good at this. I've never been better at anything in my whole life. And the students were loving it, and it led me to the next, right? It was the next income stream in my path, but I had no idea. So that's what I'm saying. I want you to open up to the possibilities that you're not aware of, the possibilities that things could come into your life that you currently can't see. Okay. So, but we want to do it in a way that it's going to help us get to where we want to go. Okay. So this teaching is like the core of where I am now, right? And so it's like this dance with life of you don't always have to be, it's like letting go of some of that control. You don't always have to be in control of everything in your life. And a lot of times it's better when you kind of co-create and let life surprise you. You're still having an intention of what you want, but you are allowing the possibilities to come into your life. So let's do this exercise. So take some time to get connected with yourself. This can look like doing a little meditation, breathing, going for a walk, whatever it takes to kind of get into your body, get connected to yourself. And I want you to think about your future goal and where you are now. Get out a piece of paper and a pen, and I want you to write down these words. How do I want to feel in my next job? How do I want to feel? So this could be something like, I want to feel creative. I want to feel excited. I want to feel supported, respected, part of a team. Just stream of consciousness, right? What comes to mind? Second, what skills do I need to learn to get to this next step in my life or to get to the end goal? What are some skills? Like, for instance, if you're a painter, maybe it's like hanging in a gallery or like learning about marketing. What are some skills that you would like to learn? Because in your next job, you could meet these expanders, or you could meet people who are inspiring you, who are teaching you these skills. For instance, when I was young, I worked for a photographer, and she was really a mentor to me and showed me that I could own my own business, right? And so that really put me in a place of where I am now and gave me that confidence. So what skills do you want to learn? Thirdly, what do you need? What do you need in this next job? So do you need time, more time and energy for your artwork? What do you need? Do you need more money financially? Do you need to live in a different place? What do you need? What do you need out of this next job? Okay, now that you have all of those written down, now I want you to open up to the possibilities in your life that could come. Open up to the idea that something could come into your life that is unexpected, that you can't control, right? And like my example of the teaching job, is there something that could come into your life that you have no idea what it is right now, but could check off these things? And open up to that. You can definitely, I would definitely suggest showing up and doing the work, like looking at ads for jobs, you know, putting yourself out there and telling people you're looking for work, making those connections, right? But practice listening to your intuition. So again, I tell people, go on to, job sites and look at the jobs, but then connect to yourself and do that little exercise that we did before. Does this job feel warm to me? Or on a scale of 1 to 10, does it feel like a 1 or a 10? What's the range? Does it feel like a yes or a no? And why? Why, when I read this description, right, does it feel that way in my body? So we're just practicing going from this logical, oh my gosh, I have to get a job. I can only get the job that is right in front of me, that I have the skills for, that is practical, to getting into your body. Does this align with me? Does this intuitively feel right to me? So making that shift. I know a lot of people don't talk about this, but this is why I'm talking about this. Your body knows, and your body can tell you a lot of times if this feels like a yes or a no to you. And there's been research about this, but I'm not going to go into all of that. Maybe I'll do a whole other video about like some of the research that's been done about this. But so all I want you to do is expand yourself to realize that you might not have to do this journey, this map by yourself. Life wants to help you, wants to support you, wants to give you these like little magic encouragements and jobs that are going to support you along the way. And if you're open to it, then you can embrace those. Eventually, this process You'll build the skills, the money, the support, the connections. So eventually you're going to little by little move from point A to building your revenue, building your connections, building the support. What that does is it builds your nervous system. It builds your trust in yourself so that you will eventually be able to jump off the cliff and into entrepreneurship, into creating this beautiful life for yourself. And that is the way that I work with clients, is slowly creating the support that you need for yourself to be able to trust yourself and easily flow into entrepreneurship. Eventually, when it's time to jump off that cliff, you're going to feel really supported and you're going to feel really ready. And I love seeing that in my clients. If you need help in doing this and you want support, I'm here. I'm accepting clients. So go ahead and send me an email or visit my website. And please like and subscribe this video, and I'll see you next time.